Welcome into the Commanders Report live show. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today we got a bunch of great Commanders content getting you guys ready for Week 4 versus the Arizona Cardinals, coming off of that historic performance from Jayden Daniels on Monday Night Football earlier this week. On today's show, we got the latest Commanders news and rumors, specifically 2 wide receivers that have been linked to the Commanders in some trade rumors here before the trade deadline. Also, college football players for you guys to watch this year. We know that the draft is a long ways away, but which players should you be watching on college football Saturdays this year that could be Washington Commanders next year? I'll give you guys my list on today's show in our second segment. Then we'll wrap up the show with my official Week 4 preview, Commanders versus Cardinals. Do I think the Commanders will get to 3-1 with another win this week? You're going to have to find out by sticking around here to the end of today's show. Let's bring on our producer here, Mr. Joey Peterson. Is this on, Joey? All right, let's put that on for you. There he is. There's Joey. How you doing, Joey? Are you doing all right, my friend?
Doing good, man. Still riding high off that Monday night victory.
You know what I just realized?
What?
You didn't do your boot on Monday, so you're gonna do it at the end of the show today.
Deal.
All right. I just realized that we didn't do the boot on Monday, so you got your boot today.
I got it.
All right, and then if we get to 5 misses today, I'll have to do a boot. Got it?
Deal.
All right, good deal, Joey. Obviously, we've had a couple days to digest this whole situation with Jayden Daniels and having that historic performance on Monday night. Do you have any thoughts coming out of that game now that we've had some time to digest it?
I'm just looking to see how he backs it up at this point. Hopefully it's not a one-off. I don't think it will be. It was fantastic. But you want to know every week. And he's got a new test this week with Arizona, and we'll see how he does.
Absolutely. All right, here's our donation menu for the real ones that are here at the beginning of today's show. Any super chat, you're going to get a shout out on the show. All right, you're going to get some love. We'll put you on screen, that whole great stuff. Now, if you guys were here on Monday, you guys know that we did something kind of new. It's called the Candy Toss, and it seemed to be a hit with you guys. So today, we're switching it up from Reese's Pieces. And today we got sour Skittle gummies. The packaging looks brown on the screen because we have a green screen. It's a green package. But we got sour Skittles gummies. So for every $5 donation, I'm going to try and shoot a piece of these Skittles gummies into Joey's mouth, all right? And if he misses, we have punishments, all right? So for every miss, Joey and I both have to take a shot. If Joey has 3 misses, he has to do a beer bong. And then Joey, no matter what, is going to have to do a boot because he missed 10 on Monday night. So if we get 5 misses today, I will also do a boot. All right, so if you guys want to send in those candy tosses, $5 a piece today to try to have some fun here on the Commanders Report. Also, it's my birthday on Friday, and what I would love, guys, and I don't ask for much, okay? I don't ask for much. I'm a guy of simple taste. I want to slap Joey Peterson in the face with a tortilla for my birthday. Can you guys please make that happen? Somebody send in a 20 so I can slap Joey in the face for my birthday, man. That's all I want. That's all I want, guys. I don't ask for much. So then $50 total today. You get to join Hog Mafia. Get a Hog Mafia sticker next to your Super Chats for life. And you get a shout out on every single Commanders Report live show. Here are the Hog Mafia members: IQ Barbecue, Marco Gorman, Omar's Burner, Lord Buddy Bear, Luke O'Gorman, TJ, Commando Mike, James Howard, Russell Hance, and you guys could be next. Really do appreciate your guys' support. And if you want to be the next member of Commanders Report Hog Mafia, make sure to send in $50 today total so that you can mix that up. That could be 5 10s, that could be 2 20s and a 10, that could be whatever you want. And, if you guys want to send your donations in via Venmo, Cashapp, or PayPal, we actually get to keep more of the proceeds when you do that. With Super Chat, YouTube takes 30% of your donation dollars. But if you send your money via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, we actually get to keep a larger portion of the proceeds. So if you want more of the money that you donate to the show to actually go to the show, you guys can find me on Venmo at Jack-Sperry, on Cash App, # Captain Jack 19, or on PayPal at Captain Jack Rabbit. Make sure you guys, if you're watching us on mobile, make a screenshot right now so you always know where you guys can send your donation dollars. Okay, before we get to our first segment today, Joey, give some shout-outs to the people typing me in the chat. I see we got Sage in here, Jasmine. Of course, my girlfriend Cassie is here. who's excited about the Sour Skittles today. We got Tommy. We got John. We got Commander Glazer. We got Keek. Who else we got, Joey?
We got Jasmine, Commander Glazer, Jovan Barnes. Jovan's back. What's up, man? Noah Wilkins, Commander's Glazer, Richard Barker. We got Jasmine Gray, Cassie Voth. Does Cassie like candy as much as you do?
I wouldn't say as much as I do. Like, I think she probably likes ice cream a little bit more than I do, but I probably like candy a little bit more than she does. But it's not like we both like candy and ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys to spam those me's in the chat. Can we get to 30 likes before we get into our first segment? We got 88 people watching right now. Can we get to 30 likes before we get into our first segment? I tell you what, if we can get to 30 likes right now, we'll do our first candy toss of the day. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. If we can get to, and I'll say this, every 50 likes that we get on the show today, every 50 we'll do a candy toss. All right, so we just got to 30. If we can get to 50, we'll do another one. All right, so Joey, here we go. These Skittles gummies, by the way, they're bigger than the Reese's Pieces that we were tossing on Monday. So these are going to be tough. Here we go. All right, if he misses, we have to drink. You got it?
Got it.
I'm going to just loft it up underhand. Got it? And it's good! Joey! All right, we're at 40 likes. If we can get to 50 by the end of this first segment, we will do another candy toss. Our goal is to get to 100 likes by the end of the show. Really do appreciate everybody stopping by today. We've got a bunch of great stuff to get to today. First up, the latest news and rumors surrounding the Washington Commanders. So without further ado, Joey, are we ready to get things going?
Give me about 5 seconds.
He needs 5 seconds. And by the way, we just got our first Cashapp of the day. I will send this to you, Mr. Joseph.
Great. I'm just now realizing our breaking banner's not in here. Let me get that in here real quick.
Yep, get that in there. I just sent you our first Cashapp of the day, so we'll put that up before we get into this first segment. Got a bunch of great stuff to cover today, man. I think all 3 segments have quite a bit of juice to them. The preview's always fun. You guys know how in-depth I get with my previews. So this is going to be a good one today. I think this Cardinals-Commanders matchup is going to be a very fun one on Sunday. So can't wait to break it down for you guys. We're going to have our Kyler Murray scouting report, keys to victory, and of course, my score prediction for Commanders versus Cardinals here in Week 4. Very excited to get this going. Joey is currently making the Venmo alert here that we have. Our first Venmo alert of the day here on the Commanders Report. And by the way, we just got to 50 likes, so that means that is a candy toss here for Mr. Joey.
Bring it on.
And we good here? We about to... And by the way, what we're drinking today, we're going to be drinking mocktail tequila. Here, Joey and I, we're driving home tonight, so we're not going to be drinking real alcohol, but this stuff tastes worse than real alcohol, all right? Yeah. So we are punishing ourselves if we miss these super chats. Is that the number I put in for it?
Oh, wait, sorry. Here it is.
There it is. First Venmo of the day coming in from Dwayne Lee with a $5 Venmo. And that, of course, is another candy toss, Joey.
So we got 2.
So we got 2 of them to kick off today's show. All right. I'm switching up the flavors for Joey, so he's not eating the same flavor all the time.
I got to put myself on screen.
Put yourself on screen here, Joey, so that they can see you. All right. Remember, if Joey misses, we have punishments. All right. We have to drink shots for every miss. Every 3 misses, he has to do a beer bong, and then if we miss 5 times, I have to drink a boot tonight. All right. Are you ready?
We are ready.
Here we go. Do not miss it.
Wait, let me
take the headphones off. Ready? And it's good! Another one for Joey the Mouth Peterson!
There we go, baby!
Joey! All right, last one here before our first segment. Again, every $5 donation, we do one of these candy tosses. Every 50 likes, we're doing a candy toss. You ready?
Let's get it.
Oh, he's 3 for 3! Joey!
It ain't fair!
Let's go, baby. All right, it's already getting going here on the Commanders Report. So without further ado, let's get into our first segment here. Joey, you ready to get things going? All right, first segment coming your way, the latest news and rumors surrounding the Washington Commanders. ESPN's Dan Graziano reports that the Washington Commanders would quote-unquote love to add a big-name wide receiver to their repertoire before the NFL trade deadline this year. We're going to be breaking down the latest Commanders trade rumors right here on the Commanders Report. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. But before we get into the trade rumors today, make sure you guys help us win our divisional sub battle this week. This is the total amount of subscribers each channel for each team in the NFC North here at Chat Sports have been able to add since Sunday. All right, the Commanders Report currently sitting in second place, just behind the Cowboys Report, just about 20 subscribers behind. So if you're new to this show, you want to help us beat the Cowboys, you want to help us beat the Eagles, you want to help us beat the Giants, do me a favor, click that subscribe button right now so that we can show that the Commanders fans are the best fan base here in the NFC East. Okay, guys, and make sure you click that subscribe button for in-depth and free coverage on your Washington Commanders every single day. We have a live show every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We have daily and free videos for you guys to enjoy, so make sure you click that subscribe button right now to join the almost 20,000 subscribers already a part of our family. Okay, now let's get into the report here, which I found very interesting. ESPN's Dan Graziano reported that Washington would quote-unquote love to add a big-name wide receiver via trade before the NFL trade deadline in a couple of weeks. And the two receivers that he mentioned specifically were Davante Adams from the Las Vegas Raiders and Diontae Johnson from the Carolina Panthers. These two guys are some of the best route runners in the National Football League, and he would certainly, neither one of these guys would be a big time weapon to add to Jayden Daniels and this Commanders offense, which has already gotten off to a pretty decent start here in 2024. So let's break each of these guys down. Let's start with the bigger name here, and that's Davante Adams. All right, and Adams has been one of the best wide receivers and arguably the best route runner in the National Football League for many years at this point. Now, he is getting up there in age, 31 years old, 6'1", 215 pounds. He has a great combination of short area quickness, long speed, ball skills, and size. He's just so well-rounded as a player. Unfortunately for him, the quarterback play hasn't really used his talents in the way that they should be used over the last several years there in Las Vegas. But he still has 3 years left on his current contract. And despite that, there are still many rumors floating around that he could be traded from Las Vegas before the trade deadline this year. You take a look at his recent career stats going back to 2020 at this point. He's very consistent, consistently over 1,000 yards. When he was with Green Bay, he was consistently over 1,500 yards, lots of touchdowns, tons of receptions. This guy is an absolute machine. Now, I do think that the Davante Adams trade rumors floating around right now are a little bit overblown. I think the only way, because he does have those 3 years left on his contract, I think the only way that he gets dealt is that he's going to straight up demand a trade from the Las Vegas Raiders before the trade deadline. And if you listen to Davante Adams in his recent press conferences, and he's been asked about the possibility of that, he's completely shooting it down. He's saying, no, I'm going to be a part of the Raiders. I'm not going to demand a trade, all these different things. So listen, I do think that at this point, the Raiders will only deal him if he demands a trade. And right now, it doesn't seem like Davante is going to be doing that. So I'm not sure how realistic that a Davante Adams to the Washington Commanders trade is. And even if it was possible, I'm not even sure if he would be Washington's cup of tea because he is getting older, right? This is a rebuilding franchise. Do they really want to add a 31-year-old wide receiver to a unit here that is still so young and, they're trying to get pieces for the future? I'm not too sure that Davante, especially at the trade price that he would be at, it would be at least 2 second-round picks. It might even cost the Commanders a first-round pick to get Davante Adams. I know Adam Peters does not want to pay that price, so I would say it's pretty unlikely that the Commanders end up landing Davante by the trade deadline. But what about Diontae Johnson I'll be breaking down his profile and whether or not it's possible he ends up in a Commanders uniform by the NFL trade deadline this year. But before we get into Diontae Johnson talk, let's talk about Scary Terry McLaurin, the current number one receiver here in Washington. He had that awesome touchdown catch to seal the game against Cincinnati on Monday Night Football in Week 3. And if you want to get an awesome Scary Terry McLaurin t-shirt from our friends at Fanatics right now, you can go chatsports.com/scary for this awesome t-shirt. You got Scary Terry with, flexing the muscles on there. I love this t-shirt. I have it at home. It's absolutely fantastic, guys. If you want to get it in your closet today, all you have to do is go to chatsports.com/scary. I'll put that link in the comments and description of today's show so you can get this in your closet today. Then we shift over to Diontae Johnson here. He's a little bit younger than Davante Adams at 28 years old. A little bit on the smaller side, 5'10", 183 pounds, so he's not a big receiver. But what he's known as is one of the best route runners in the NFL. He's borderline top 5 among any receiver in the league in route running. He's definitely in the top 10 conversation. And unlike Davante Adams, Diontae is on the final year of his current contract. The Carolina Panthers traded for Diontae this past offseason from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you take a look at his stats throughout his career with Pittsburgh here. It's been absolutely fantastic. Now, obviously, the quarterback play hasn't been fantastic, so the touchdown numbers aren't as high, but he's consistently hovering around 1,000 yards receiving and 100 receptions. This guy is one of the best route-running wide receivers in football. So if the Washington Commanders are looking to add a really good receiving option that can get open consistently for Jayden Daniels, I do think this is a more realistic option, especially if Andy Dalton and the Panthers start losing a lot of games. Maybe Andy Dalton is good. We don't know. He played pretty darn well against the Raiders last week. But if they continue to lose games and they're selling at the deadline, I do think Diontae Johnson is a piece they'd be willing to unload. If the Commanders are hunting a big-name wide receiver, I do think Diontae Johnson is somebody that could come up in those conversations. However, personally, I'm not really sure that the Washington Commanders need to trade for a wide receiver. I think that this wide receiver room, as currently constructed, is actually pretty good. You take a look at what Terry McLaurin, Noah Brown, and Luke McCaffrey did, especially this past week on Monday Night Football against the Bengals. I mean, Jayden Daniels is comfortable throwing to all three of those guys, and I think with a rebuilding team right now, this wide receiver trio is good enough for Jayden Daniels and this offense to have success. And personally, I'd rather target a different position, namely on defense. That's where this team is struggling right now. Whether it's going out and getting like a Marshawn Lattimore at cornerback, or maybe going out and getting a BJ Ojulari or something like that, Azeez Ojulari from the New York Giants at edge rusher, maybe even a Hassan Reddick from the New York Jets, and kind of, if you want to pay him a bunch of money. There's options here at cornerback and edge rusher if you want to take them on the trade market if you are GM Adam Peters. And I do think if you want to make a big splash trade, if you're the Commanders this year, don't go for the receiver, go for the defensive player. At least that's what I would do. But between these two receivers, which one would you rather trade for? Would you rather trade for Davante Adams, the 31-year-old type DA, or would you rather get the slightly younger but still really, really good wide receiver Diontae Johnson for a lower price tag, type DJ, if you'd rather go that route? Now, before I go here, I do have one more piece of news to discuss with you guys here on the Commanders Report, okay? And it has to pertain with new franchise quarterback here in Washington, Jayden Daniels. He was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week after his just unbelievable performance against the Cincinnati Bengals. We've talked about it ad nauseum on this channel, just how special that was. Only 2 incompletions, over 90% completion percentage, multiple shots down the field, hitting the intermediate part of the field, hitting the middle of the field as well. He was just an absolute marvel on Monday Night Football, and I'm glad to see the rookie got his flowers this week, getting this NFC Offensive Player of the Week trophy. And also, he was the highest graded rookie in the entire National Football League with a 95.9 PFF grade. That is about as high as I have ever seen a quarterback get for a single game. And he did it as a rookie on prime time, on the road, and he outdueled one of the best quarterbacks this league has to offer in Joe Burrow. So congratulations to Jayden Daniels. Now spam his number 5 in the chat. Spam those 5s to congratulate Maverick on his first NFC Offensive Player of the Week trophy. I have a feeling it's not going to be his last, and hopefully what will be a long NFL career. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate your guys' support. That'll be the end of today's edition of the Commander's Report, but we will be back tomorrow with another edition of the Commander's Report. You're not going to want to miss it, so click that subscribe button right now. All right, first segment out of the way, Mr. Joey. Here is our donation menu in case you are just joining us. We had over 200 people in the chat right now. Every 50 likes that we get on the show, we're doing a candy toss, $5 super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps, $50 donations, and we're doing candy tosses. And then if you guys don't know what a candy toss is, I toss a Skittles gummy to Joey. If he catches it in his mouth, nothing happens, all right? But if he misses, we have punishments. Every miss, we have to take shots. Every 3 misses, it's a beer bong. And every 5 misses, it's a DOS boot. And if you guys don't know what a boot is, it is a huge glass boot that carries 3 beers worth, like 3 cans of beers worth of liquid. And we have to chug it for you right here on the show if we miss it 5 times. All right, so right now we are less than 20 likes away from our next candy toss. So if you guys want another free candy toss, all it takes is to click that thumbs up icon, help us get to 100 likes right now. And if you want to add another one to the total, it's just a $5 donation to get it done. If you want to send in a donation via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, you can find us here at Jack-Sperry on Venmo, # Captain Jack 19 on Cash App, or at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. Okay, coming up next year, Joey Peterson, college football players to watch this year if you're a Commanders fan. All right, I've identified 3 position groups that I think the Commanders will probably definitely be looking at heading into the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft, and I'm going to be breaking down the top names at those positions. Okay, so I know it's early to do draft content, guys, but you know what? This will probably be the only draft video we do really until the end of the offseason, or the end of the season, I'd say. I just want to let you guys know, if you're a big college football fan, which players and what teams should you be watching to see, where future Commanders might be playing in college football this year. So, Joey, let me know when you guys are ready to get things going. All right. So we are close here, man. We are 15 likes away from a candy toss here. So make sure you click that thumbs up icon right now. If we get to 100 likes before this next segment, we'll get this candy toss going for you right now. Also, every single $5 super chat gets a Skittles gummy toss as well. So Joey has given me the signal here that we are good to go. So let's get into our next segment here. Don't forget to click that thumbs up icon. We're now 10 likes away from that next candy toss. Get those donations in as well. But in the meantime here, we got our next segment, college football players to watch for every Commanders fan out there. The 2025 NFL Draft is still a ways away, but today on the Commanders Report, I'm going to be talking to all the college football fans out there in Commanders Nation. I'm going to be letting you guys know which college football players that are going to be eligible to be a part of the 2025 NFL Draft that you guys should be watching on College Football Saturdays every single week this fall. Now, let me know, before we get into our first position group here, let me know the answer to this question. True or false? Washington will be drafting in the top 10 of this year's NFL Draft, the 2025 NFL Draft. Will the Commanders be drafting in the top 10? Type T if you think that statement is true, or type F if you think that statement is going to be false to kick off today's show. So first off here, let's talk about team needs, okay? And right now, it is still too early to know for sure what the Commanders will need come the NFL Draft, right? We still have to see which players they're going to re-sign. We still have to see if they make any moves at the trade deadline. We still have to know what they do in free agency next spring as well. So we don't know for sure what team needs the Commanders will have in the first round of next year's draft. But as the Commanders roster sits right now, knowing what we know about free agency, what we know about everything heading into next offseason, I would say cornerback, edge rusher, and offensive tackle are the 3 most important positions of need for the Commanders as it sits right now, looking ahead to 2025. So let's break these down one by one. And let's start with cornerbacks here, because we know that this cornerback room is in deep trouble. at least here in 2024. Benjamin St-Juste, I think, is fine. I think that he's good in press coverage. He's a long corner. Doesn't have the best speed, but he's very physical. Emmanuel Forbes has just not been good, period, in his NFL career to this point. Hopefully he turns it around by the end of the year. And Mike Samerstrill is somebody that I have a lot of belief in, but he's had a really, really rough start in coverage to start his NFL career. So this is definitely going to be a priority for the Washington Commanders heading into next offseason, in my opinion. So let's take a look at my list of the top 5 cornerback prospects for you to keep your eye on here in college football. We're going to start with Siobhan Revel Jr. out of East Carolina, the Pirates there. And he is so long, man. He's 6'3". He's got just super go-go gadget arms. He's built like a number 1 lockdown corner in the National Football League. Okay, man, like this guy is a serious, serious talent. Just because he plays for East Carolina, don't let him fool you. He is a physical freak, and I'm really, really excited to see what he is going to do in the National Football League. Keep your eye on Siobhan Revel Jr. I think he'd be a great fit here in Washington. Another big corner here, Takario Davis out of Arizona. Is my number 4 corner. He is so big. I believe he's 6'5", another guy with long arms, really physical. He's going to be kind of a press man corner type. That's what Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. want in these corners here. They want aggressive, long, physical corners. That's why Benjamin St-Juste has done pretty darn well in this system so far. I think Takario is a very, very talented player that could certainly be there for the taking for Washington next spring. Then Benjamin Morrison, if you're looking for somebody that is just an absolute savant in man coverage, that's what Benjamin Morrison does. He is Notre Dame's number 1 corner. He is their island corner, which means they put him one-on-one in press coverage just about every single play, and then they shift coverage the rest of their defense away from that number 1 receiver because they trust Morrison one-on-one against the other team's number 1 receiver that much, all right? So having a guy with that kind of expertise in man coverage certainly fits with the man coverage stuff that Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. ran with the Dallas Cowboys and now in Washington. So definitely keep your eye on Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame. Number 2 on my list, this might surprise some people, I have Will Johnson as my number 2 right now. Now, don't get me wrong. Will Johnson's going to be a top 10 pick. So if you are drafting in the top 10 and not maybe like top 15 or top 20 if you're the Commanders, Will Johnson will be in play. And he is just a special talent. You guys have heard about him ever since his freshman year. He's been arguably the best corner in football since his freshman year. So he's just been awesome, man. And he is just so well-rounded. He's tall. He's got long arms. He plays with great coverage both in man and zone. One of the most complete corners you will ever see enter the National Football League. Draft might even be a top 5 pick. But the reason why he's not number 1 is because I do have Travis Hunter as my number 1 corner. Now, the reason why he just gets the edge over Will Johnson is that he's got the ability to play wide receiver as well if you need him to. Now, I do think he's probably going to play corner in the National Football League, or at least he should. When you look at Travis Hunter on film, I think that he is a much better corner than he is a receiver, which is saying something because he's one of the best receivers in college football. What he should do is he should be a lockdown number 1 corner in the National Football League, and then he should have the ability to come in and play receiver on certain key downs for that team's offense, and that's going to give him very unique value to NFL teams come to next spring. So we'll see what he ends up doing here. There's more money in being a receiver than there is a corner, so he might decide to come out as a receiver. But as it stands right now, I have him listed as a corner, and I have him listed as my number 1 guy. Some honorable mentions at this position. 2 guys from the Ohio State Buckeyes worth mentioning here. Davison Igbenuzin, I can't pronounce his name right ever, but Denzel Burke as well. These 2 corners out of the Buckeyes are really, really talented players as well, and depending on how they do this college football season, they could potentially be first-round picks next spring as well. So who's your guy? Let me know down there in the comments section. Which college football player do you want the Commanders to draft next offseason? Are you a Travis Hunter guy? Is there some other players in college football that you'd rather go out and get? Let me know down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. So now let's talk about some edge rushers here, and I do think that this is a very good edge rusher class. for the NFL draft, at least when you look at it on paper. You look at the defensive line right now, you don't even have a bona fide number one edge rusher, which is one of the reasons why this Commanders pass rush just hasn't been very good to start this season. Cleveland Ferrell is currently injured. Dorrance Armstrong has been pretty much MIA in terms of true pass rushing sets. So when I look at this right now, guys, I think that you could certainly use a number one edge rusher as we approach the 2025 NFL draft. So let's start with the number 5 guy at the edge position for me, JT Tuimoloau from the Ohio State Buckeyes. This guy could have came out last year, and he could have been a first-round pick. He's got super long arms, very physical player. Really like what Tuimoloau brings to the table here, man, and I just can't wait to see him play here this season, and then he's probably going to be a first-round pick come next year for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Then we get to Nick Scorton here, Texas A&M. I really like the physicality that Scorton plays with. He's going to be somebody that is going to be a true power rusher in the league right away, in my opinion. And that kind of skill set is going to be able to be easily translatable for the Aggie here, the Aggie edge rusher, and he could be a really, really good player for the Washington Commanders if they end up taking him. Abdul Carter out of Penn State, can't forget Abdul here, who is really, really physical. I mean, we know the pedigree of these guys that have worn number 11 for the Penn State Nittany Lions. It is super, super impressive. Physical freak. I think that he's probably going to be a top 15 pick, top 20 at the very least. Abdul Carter is going to be a very big, high upside type of edge rusher heading into next year's draft. Mykel Williams, love the arm length with this guy. This guy has some of the longest arms you will ever see on an edge rusher, and that's going to give him a big-time advantage, and that's going to pretty much allow Mykel Williams to be just as good as he wants to be because he pairs that arm length with some really fantastic traits as well. You can make an argument that this guy's the number one edge rusher in this class, but I'm going to go with James Pierce Jr. as the number one, as a Tennessee Volunteer fan. Joey Peterson pumps himself up here. James Pierce is a special player. There's no question about it. It's very close between him and Mykel Williams. Both of them, I think, will be top 5 picks in the NFL draft this year. So if you're drafting top 5, I do think that the Commanders need to look at adding a number one edge rusher for the years to come. There's also some other really, really good honorable mentions that I wanted to mention here at the edge rusher position. Landon Jackson from Arkansas. Jack Sawyer from Ohio State's also very good. Jack Kelly from BYU, kind of an under-the-radar kind of guy. Jalen Walker, the other edge rusher for Georgia, and then Trey Moore are all guys that could potentially make the first round here in the 2025 NFL draft. So coming up here on the Commanders Report, we're talking offensive tackles to wrap up today's show. But before we get into the OTs, let's talk about our sponsor today at BetUS, and go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code CHAT125 to get a 125% deposit bonus with our friends at BetUS when you use promo code CHAT125. So what that means, guys, is that let's say you put in $100 on BetUS to use on your bets. What that deposit bonus means is that they're going to give you 125% of the money that you spend back to you to use on your bets. So if you spend $100, that means that they're going to give you 125 additional dollars to use on your bets, all right? So you're pretty much losing money if you're not using this deal right here. If you're somebody that loves sports betting, you love to do that, you love to make money from your sports takes, all that great stuff, this is an opportunity you cannot pass up. Go to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code CHAT125 to get this 125% deposit bonus before it's gone. So finally here, let's talk about the offensive tackles, because I also think this is a good class for the offensive tackles. And, I've been saying it for months, guys, and I've been saying it even going back to this previous offseason. I'm not a big believer in this offensive tackle room. Brandon Coleman, you did draft him relatively early in this year's draft. Maybe, you don't replace him, but Andrew Wiley, you got to get rid of him, I think, this next offseason. Cornelius Lucas, probably the same thing here. And you got to at least get a right tackle of the future, and then maybe even Brandon Coleman can go over to the right side if you can get a really good left tackle. So I do think tackle is going to be, once again, something that the Commanders look at very heavily to try and improve this offensive line and protect Jayden Daniels. Number 5 on my list, I cannot pronounce this name, guys. It's Diontae That is my best pronunciation here of the left tackle out of Minnesota. He is a very talented prospect, man. I think he's probably going to be more of like a later first round type of player, but I really like his ability to play left tackle. I do think he's an NFL caliber left tackle type prospect. Very excited about his future. Josh Simmons from Ohio State is another guy that some people like more than others. Some people have him ranked third on their list. Some people don't even have him in their top five. For me personally, kind of in the middle. I have him at number 4 on my personal list here. That Ohio State offense is super high-powered, and, they do provide their quarterback, Will Howard, lots of time to throw. Josh Simmons is definitely a part of that. Emory Jones Jr. Is number 3 on my list, and then also Will Campbell, the other offensive tackle, from LSU is on this list. I mean, this is one of the best college offensive tackle duos we have ever seen. Both of these guys are probably going to be top 15 picks. They're both really, really good on their respective sides of the offensive line. And I think that both of them are going to be excellent pros. Can't really go wrong with either tackle from Baton Rouge there. Then we get to Kelvin Banks Jr., my number 1 offensive tackle. Just an awesome, awesome player from the Longhorns, man. He's got everything you look for. Arm length, mobility, size. This guy is everything that you want in a franchise offensive tackle. If the Commanders are drafting top 5 or top 10, that's where Kelvin is probably going to end up going, and that's when they would end up taking him if they are drafting that high. A little bit of an honorable mention here. Josh Connerly Jr. out of Oregon is also somebody to keep your eye on. Depending on how he does, I do think he could end up being a first-round draft pick this year as well. So predict it for me down there in the comments section. It's not a Commanders-based question. It's a college football-based question, but I want to know your guys' answer down there in the comments section. Who's going to win the Heisman in 2024? Will it be Shedeur Sanders? Will it be Travis Hunter? Will it be Cam Ward? Will it be somebody else? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section and get your Heisman predictions in the comments section for me. All right, that'll be it for today's show, guys. I appreciate your guys' support. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and until next time, go raise some hail. All right, we got one more segment left to go. We did pass 100 likes. We're currently at 109 likes right now, so we do have a candy toss. I did not see anybody super chat or send in a donation, but hey, $5, we do a candy toss, all right? And if you guys don't know what the candy toss is, I toss up a candy to Joey. He has to catch it in his mouth, and if he doesn't, we have punishments. Every miss, Joey and I have to take a shot. 3 misses, Joey has to do a beer bong. 5 misses, I have to do a boot. All right, so if you guys want to get this going, get those $5 donations in there so we can do more candy tosses. Also, every 50 likes that we get on the show, we get a free candy toss. Plus, it's my birthday on Friday, guys. All I want for my birthday, I don't ask for much. So I want to slap Joey in the face with a tortilla as hard as I can. Oh! No way!
He's back!
He's back, the GOAT! IQ Barbecue! Bang! IQ Barbecue with a $100 super set.
We'll get it up there.
Let's go.
9 seconds. We got a new graphic for super chats. It's still pulling them, but we'll get it up there shortly.
We will get you up here shortly here, IQ, but he just put in a 100. So, IQ, do you want a bunch of candy tosses? Do you want tortilla slaps? How do you want to spend that $100? Let us know. So Puck Plays to Win is asking, how do you donate? Puck Plays to Win. Joey, if you could put the List 3 logo up. So Puck Plays to Win, here's how you donate. You go down to the live chat. There's a symbol down there that looks like a dollar bill. You click that. You put in the money amount that you want to put in, and then you send it. Or you guys can send a Venmo, Cashapp, or PayPal. This is where you can find me on all the various money apps, at Jack-Sperry on Venmo, money sign Captain Jack 19 on Cash App, and then at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. Really do appreciate your guys' support. IQ says he wants slaps. Slaps.
Do we have tortillas?
Slaps. I don't have tortillas. You got to go get them. 5 slaps
Wow.
for my birthday. Thank you, Mr. IQ Barbecue. By the way,
They
100.
can't be all to me.
What's that?
I said they can't be all to me. There's no way.
No, it's my birthday. I get to do the slapping. Let's go. IQ Barbecue. Let's go. Let's go, baby. That's unbelievable. IQ Barbecue, thank you for this birthday present. I promise you, I am going to slap him as hard as I can. The thing about Joey is that when he slaps me, he doesn't slap me hard, all right? He doesn't want to hurt me, all right? I make no bones about it. I want to slap the shit out of Joey Peterson. Let's go. Let's go. Joey is currently getting the tortillas, and we'll get these slaps going. We do have one more. So Puck plays to win is asking if it's not working. It is not working. So we haven't received anything yet. Puck plays to win. So it's either it didn't send, you didn't press send, or whatever. Joey is, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, so we do have a candy toss coming up here. We're about 35 likes away from another candy toss. Send us full screen here, Joey. Just got the tortilla, gotta fold it. So do you want half of these to be now, half of them at the end? Because you still got to drink a boot at the end of the show. All right, we're going to get these slaps done right now. Then we'll get to the final segment. Then Joey's got to drink a boot at the end of the show.
What a brutal day to be Joey.
What a brutal day to be Joey Peterson is right. All right, but it's all right, you ready?
Yep. Oh,
I slapped him so fucking hard.
no,
All right, we're gonna go forehand this time, okay?
Oh, got a little bit of the ear there.
I got him in the ear. At least you didn't get an ear laceration like Austin Eckler on Monday. Here we go. Back to the backhand.
Oh my God.
There's a mark. There's a mark.
Please, IQ, let me slap him.
IQ. Oh, thank you, IQ. Oh.
I heard ring.
Are you good? I got him right in the temple. Oh, he's checking the chat to see if he's changed his mind. So that's what? That's 4? One more. All right, one more.
IQ, we're not friends anymore. Dear God, I feel bad.
Oh my gosh, I'm not joking. I was slapping hard.
Dude, I'm gonna go home and like, why are you so red?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
IQ, that made my birthday, man. I can't tell you.
IQ,
How
you're dead
much-
to me.
Joey says IQ, you're dead to him. All right, Joey, now we got a candy toss.
Alrighty.
Oh, baby, we got Omar's Burner in the chat. $2 super chat. Says, brutal day for Ravens host Joey. Woohoo. That's funny, man. Okay, here we go. So if he misses this, he has to drink a shot. And we both
Maybe
do.
that'll numb the pain.
Yeah, maybe that'll numb the pain a little bit. You ready?
Yep.
Oh, bad throw. Oh, he caught it. He did not
I
attempt.
dropped it.
He did not attempt to catch it.
Okay.
Do you want a new one because it hit the ground?
That's whatever.
All right. Okay. Here we go. And he almost lost it. It went in. It went
Wow,
out and
I
back
got it.
in again.
I got
Pause. Pause. Let's go. All right. If we can show Omar's $2
Yeah, I'll get it up there.
super chat here. And then we'll get into our last segment, our preview for Week 4, Commanders versus Cardinals. Omar's Burner with a $2 super chat says, brutal day for Ravens host Joey Woohoo. Appreciate you, Omar. Thanks for your support for the channel, my friend. All right, let's get it going right now before IQ sends in another 100.
Also, ESPN changed their photos, so this one looks a little different. Just letting you know.
Oh, they did. They changed their photo. I kind of like that photo.
Yeah, no, looks good.
All right, here we go. Let's get into this final segment today. Week 4 preview for your Washington Commanders as they travel to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals. It is week 4 in the National Football League, and this week, your Washington Commanders will take on the Arizona Cardinals at State Farm Stadium in Arizona for this matchup here that I know a lot of Commanders fans are really looking forward to, because coming off of that awesome performance, Jayden Daniels on Monday Night Football, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, rookie QB performance in the history of the National Football League. Can they get back on the horse here and really do a good job getting another win and improving to 3-1. I'll let you guys know my keys to victory, have a full scouting report on Kyler Murray, and then my final score prediction for this Week 4 matchup in just a second. But first, like the video, if you want Washington to go into State Farm Stadium and win against the Arizona Cardinals this week and improve to 3-1. So we take a look at this matchup here. Of course, the Burgundy and Gold coming off of that big-time win on Monday Night Football travel to Arizona. They're actually staying there all week to practice in preparation for this Week 4 matchup on the short week. And, Kyler Murray and this offense is actually pretty darn good. We'll talk about them a lot in this show. But I do think that this is going to be a high-flying offensive affair, just like it was on Monday Night Football last week, and it's going to be the best quarterback bringing home the W in this football game. So let's take a look at the Arizona Cardinals and what they're bringing to the table here schematically. Head coach Jonathan Gannon is in his second year there in Arizona. He has a career record of 5-15, which is not very good, but you also have to take into account that the Cardinals roster hasn't been very good, and I actually think this Cardinals roster has been pretty competitive in Gannon's tenure to this point. On offense, it's going to be kind of a Sean McVay-style, third-generation West Coast offense, helmed by Drew Petzing, one of my favorite young offensive coordinators in the National Football League today. Then on defense, Jonathan runs kind of a Fangio hybrid style of defense where he runs a lot of the Fangio quarters and cover 6 and, drop back coverage, all that stuff. But he also throws in some very interesting wrinkles in terms of blitzes that I think are really creative and are among the best in the National Football League. So they kind of have that combination of Fangio match quarters style principles, but they also mix up some really creative blitzes, which make it very difficult on an opposing offense. So you take a look at the results for the Cardinals so far this year. 2 home games, 1 road game. They almost took down the Buffalo Bills on the road in Buffalo in Week 1. They got out to an early lead, but then they lost it, kind of squandered it. Then they killed the Los Angeles Rams at home in Week 2. And then the offense just couldn't really get much going against the Detroit Lions defense. Final score 20-13 on their home turf. Now they'll be in their 3rd straight home game. So it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back from that loss against Detroit. But they were very competitive against that very good Detroit Lions team. Take a look at the offensive pieces that Washington will have to deal with here. Kyler Murray, I think, is one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the National Football League. A lot of people think he stinks because he plays Call of Duty, but he is a super dynamic talent. We're going to talk about what he brings to the table here momentarily. James Conner is another very underrated player. I think he might be a top 10, maybe even borderline top 5 running back in the game when you look at his numbers. Very, very well-rounded running back in James Conner. Marvin Harrison Jr., holy cow, this guy's an awesome player. There are some people here in Commanders Nation that wanted the team to take him over any quarterback. He is that good, so he's going to be a handful. Trey McBride is dealing with a concussion right now. He's questionable to play, but if he's in there, he's a very dynamic tight end. That's also very underrated. It's a key theme for this offense. And then Michael Wilson, another underrated piece on this Cardinals offense. Don't get it wrong, this Cardinals offense can definitely move the football. But then on defense, I think it's a lot more underwhelming, especially up front in the front 7. Budda Baker is Budda Baker. He's awesome. Zaven Collins and Dennis Gardeck, I think, are underrated as an edge rusher duo. They're not elite, but they're pretty good. Sean Murphy-Bunting is the guy they brought in this offseason. Physical man corner. He's going to be going up against Terry McLaurin. And Sterling Thomas, the 5th, their other corner, is just okay. I really had to, stress to find that 5th person to find on this graphic because there's just not a whole lot of dynamic pieces to this Cardinals defense. So what you can expect from this Cardinals team is that they're going to have a high-flying offense. Kyler Murray's going to make some plays. Maserati Marvin's going to be, a really good player as well. They're still very young. They're still kind of gelling together. But this is a dangerous football team offensively. Defensively, I think you can take advantage of them a little bit. But offensively, they're going to put up points, especially if the Commanders' defense doesn't come to play. So still to come here on the Commanders Report Week 4 preview. Keys to victory versus the Arizona Cardinals. a full scouting report on Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray, and then my official Week 4 score prediction for Commanders versus Cardinals. You guys are not going to want to miss that. So before we get into the rest of today's preview, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Fanatics. You guys can get some awesome Commanders ball caps on their website right now. We all know, and this is something I love about DQ. He's rocking that backwards hat as a head coach in the National Football League. It's his signature look. So if you want to rock the DQ look from your living room, from the tailgate, from the stadium, every single Commanders game day, you can go to chatsports.com/24DH right now to pick up your Washington Commanders cap today. So let's go into the keys to victory here. First one, keep Kyler Murray in the bucket. Now, what does that mean? That means don't let him leak out of the pocket and just keep him in there, because once he leaves the pocket, he's probably top 5 in the league at making things happen off script. He is that special, whether it be with his legs. He's got incredible short area quickness and agility, and he's got incredible arm talent where he can throw it from any platform and any arm angle. And if he's outside the pocket, he is super dangerous. So you can't let him leave. Also, the pocket presence is really good, so he has a really good feel for how to get out of the pocket, so he's very difficult to contain. And then the deep ball accuracy, especially down the boundary, is some of the best in the National Football League. This guy's a dangerous weapon. However, the cons are his lack of size limits what he can do throwing the ball over the middle of the field when he's in the pocket, because he just can't see over the line of scrimmage, over his offensive lineman, because he's just so goddamn tiny. So if he is forced to stay in the pocket, he's going to be limited as a playmaker, and he's going to be limited in terms of where he can throw the football effectively on the field. I do think he's a borderline top 10 NFL QB. That size and that ability to throw over the middle and that inability to throw over the middle from the pocket does limit him. But make no mistake, he is a dynamic talent, and if you let him run all over the yard, he is going to make you pay for it. Then another thing you got to do against Kyler Murray to be very, very successful against this offense is you have to defend the perimeter. Okay, you got a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. who's going to be his favorite target on the outside. Kyler Murray from the pocket is one of the most efficient quarterbacks from throwing outside the numbers. So that's going to go on Benjamin St-Juste. That's going to go on Emmanuel Forbes to protect the boundaries, to protect the field outside of the numbers, and force Kyler Murray to beat you over the middle of the field. The key matchup to watch out for, Marvin Harrison Jr., somebody that I've compared to a younger Davante Adams in his prime. I think he's already among that type of receiver. He is that good of a route runner. He's got super reliable hands. He's going to get open, and he can make tough catches. Benjamin St-Juste is going to be the physical, long-armed corner that is going to be responsible for guarding him. I wouldn't be surprised even if he shadows him wherever he goes, just because of the size differential here. So I do think that Benjamin St-Juste is going to have his hands full in this one, and if he can shut him down, this Commanders defense is going to have a chance at success. Another thing that the Commanders need to do this time on the offensive side of the ball is get B-Rob going. You're just not going to have Austin Eckler in this football game. He's already out with a concussion, so that means it's going to be B-Rob that's getting most, if not all, the major carries in this football game. But the good news is I think that the Cardinals are a little light up front in their front seven, so I think you can bully them in the run game. So that's going to be the number one thing that this Commanders offense has to do this week. You got to run the football, and you got to run it effectively to wear down this opposing defense. Then you got to keep Jayden Daniels hot, man. I mean, obviously, unbelievable performance last week against the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't expect him to complete over 91% of his passes again this week, but I can expect him to have another really good performance and him to be dealing down the field, intermediate, finding his check down, doing all the things that pro quarterbacks need to do, and then he adds the extra spice with that ability to run the football. I want to see Jayden Daniels maybe not rest on his laurels here and not, pat himself on the back and pump his chest after that amazing performance last week. On a short week here, I want to see him get refocused and tear apart this Arizona Cardinals defense. Then the final thing is here, you got to execute on your deep ball opportunities, because Terry McLaurin is going to be going up against kind of a lackluster secondary here. There's going to be opportunities to get 17 the football deep down the field. Now, we saw Jayden Daniels and Scary Terry connect on more than one occasion last week against the Bengals. That needs to happen again this week, in my opinion. You got to get that connection continuing to grow so they can foster a really special connection as the season goes on. That's going to be the key matchup here. Terry McLaurin going up against their man corner, Sean Murphy-Bunting, who's okay, but he's kind of had a rough start to his season. I think he's more of a number 2 corner than a number 1 guy. Terry McLaurin, make no mistake, is a true number 1 guy. He's going to be going up pretty much against a number 2 corner, so he has the matchup advantage there. Jayden Daniels needs to take advantage of that mismatch. And I do think that this game is going to be a shootout at the end of the day. I don't think that the Commanders' defense is particularly very good. You're not going to have Cleveland Ferrell again. Emmanuel Forbes is coming back, but how much better does that really make the secondary? I guess we'll see. I do think that this Cardinals offense is going to do a really good job. Kyler Murray's going to have a really, really good day. But I also think the Washington Commanders will have a good day offensively, and it's going to be into the 30s, and it's going to be a shootout, and it's going to be a bloodbath. And I think the winner here is going to go to the home team. I think the Cardinals will end up getting this one. I think the Commanders are feeling pretty darn good coming off of that Bengals game, so they might be in for a letdown game. The Cardinals are currently at 1-2, so they really want to get back to 500. The Commanders the Commanders are coming off the short week, so they have that disadvantage as well. So I think it will be close. I think that this could go either way. It's going to come down to which quarterback makes the big play in the fourth quarter. We saw Jayden Daniels do it last week. If he does it again, they could absolutely walk out of this one with a win. But I do think those kind of little advantages here do go to the Cardinals, and I think that will make the difference in this football game. So voice your opinion down there in the comments section for me right now. Predict the final score of Commanders versus Cardinals in Week 4. Do the Commanders get to 3-1, or do they come back down to earth a little bit here and go to 500 at 2-2? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We got in-depth Commanders previews for every single game this year, every single week. So if you want this kind of in-depth Commanders coverage every single day here on YouTube, make sure you join the almost 20,000 subscribers already a part of the Commanders Report family. All right, Joey, you should be going and getting a boot here, my friend.
Sweet, I'll go get it.
So Joey's got a boot for my birthday. I tell you what, if we get another $100 super chat, I'll also do a boot. If we get another 100, Jeffrey's saying a short week by a day, that's not a big deal. It's a big deal. Having that extra day to rest is a big deal. It's a bigger deal than I think you might think, Jeffrey. Is it completely crippling? No, it's not a cripple. It's not completely crippling. But is it a slight advantage to Arizona? I would say it is. Now, does that guarantee a Cardinals win? Not by any stretch of the imagination. I do think that it's going to be close, and like I said, it's going to come down to who makes the big play in the fourth quarter. And I think Jayden Daniels proved that he can do that. But I've also seen Kyler Murray do that a lot too in his career. So it's going to be a fun one to watch. Can't wait to see how it works out. And hey, man, I picked the Bengals to win last week, and I was wrong. I would love to be wrong again. Absolutely, I would love to be wrong again. I by no means claim to think I'm right about every single prediction I make, but, it's just my prediction. So I guess we'll see what goes on. Again, $5. Every $5 we do a candy toss. Right now we're 15 likes away from another candy toss. Joey owes you guys a boot for missing 10 of the candy tosses on Monday Night Football. $20 Tortilla Slaps. It's my birthday on Friday. I love slapping Joey Peterson, man. So maybe he's had enough. I don't know, but it's been a lot of fun for sure. Appreciate you, IQ, for putting in that 100. It's sitting at about 6 o'clock on the East Coast right now. And Joey is still getting that boot, so he'll be drinking that thing when he gets back. And we're still 13 likes away. Oh my goodness! Here's Joey. He's got the Happy Dad boot here. We got Lonnie Broom in the chat. We got King Dwayne Lee. We got Jasmine. We got Logan. We got John. We got Jeffrey. We got Krem. We got Jim. We got Krem. We got Jalen's dad. We got Sean Gardner. We got Jalen's dad again. Gregory Pett. Got Richard Barker. Got puck plays to win. All right, Joey, here we go. You owe a boot for missing 10 of the candy tosses.
It's been a while.
Been a while. By the way, if we get 100 here at the end of the show, I'll also do one. So Joey, bottoms up, my friend. Everybody spam Joey, 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 Joey. Oh, he's one-handing it. He's one-handing it. Let's go, Joey. You better not get any liquid on my computer. Come on, Joey. Everybody spam those Joeys. Joey, Joey, Joey. Come on, you're halfway there, pal. He's got a burp. That carbonation is getting to him. Come on now. Yeah! Joey! 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 That's good stuff there, kid. All right. We are 10 likes away from one final candy toss before we say goodbye for the day. So if we can get 10 more likes, excuse me. Joey, while we're awaiting those final 10 likes, if you guys want another candy toss, you guys can send in a 5 or like the video. Joey, what are your thoughts on this week against the Cardinals? Do you think the Commanders will win?
I don't. I think it'll be a really good game.
Man, I think that, when we both say that they're going to lose, they win, right? Because
That's true.
We said the same thing about the Bengals.
That is true. No, I just think, and I heard you talking about it a little bit when I was leaving, but the one day of rest that the Cardinals have over the Commanders, that's a big deal. It really is. And I think it's going to be another offensive showdown. I think it's going to be high scoring. But I think the fact that it's at home, Cardinals have one more day of rest. They're coming from a bad loss against a really good team at home as well. Their only 2 losses are to 2 guaranteed playoff teams, you know? 2 of the best teams possibly in their conferences. And so, man, I think it's going to be a high
5 likes away. 5 likes away from a candy toss. 4 likes away. We got 100 people watching. Can we get there?
So, yeah, I think it's going to be high scoring. I think they're both going to be in the 30s, like you said, but I think the Cardinals
I want to make clear, okay, to the people in the chat, I think the Commanders can win this game. It's not like I think they're going to get toasted or that they're definitely going to lose.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be close, and it's going to come down to that 1 or 2 plays in the fourth quarter. And I just think with those little advantages that the Cardinals have, I'd give them the slight advantage to win this football game. That doesn't mean I think the Commanders suck or that they're definitely going to lose. If they play like they did on Monday, they're going to win the game.
Yes.
Plain and simple.
If you score every time you have the ball,
and
you're
also,
win the game.
I think they're going to score a lot of points. I predicted them to score 31 points. I think that this team and this offense is actually pretty darn good. But, let's face it, the defense isn't very good right now, okay? And I think that, Emmanuel Forbes, he's going to be back this week, but I don't think he makes that much of an impact. No. The pass rush, you still don't have Cleveland Furrow. Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne have not played good football, so it's not that I think the Commanders stink. I actually like the Cardinals a lot. I think they are a decent football team. It's not like I'm predicting the Commanders to lose against the New York Giants or something like that. I'm predicting them to lose on the road, off a short week, against a good football team by 4 points. All right?
Well,
I think that the Commanders could win.
Yeah, the Cardinals lost 13 games last year, but 7 of their losses were within one possession.
Yep, exactly.
They're a good team.
They were competitive last year, and they made big additions this year.
Yeah, and Kyler Murray didn't play till November.
Yeah, and when he came back, they were pretty competitive.
Yeah.
All right, we got to 150 likes, so we got one more here.
Let's get it.
Got one more candy toss. If you guys want to keep the show going, send in those 5s, send in those 20s. All right, here we go. For the last one. And it's good! Joey didn't miss a single one today. Joey. That's good stuff, man. Okay, that'll be it for today's show, guys. We'll be back later to discuss. We'll have those 2 cuts out later in the week. We'll be back. I don't know if we're doing a watch party this week. I still have to talk to our bosses to see if we have studio space to do a watch party this week, but we'll see if we're able to do it here. It might just be Joey. It might be both of us. We'll see. But I appreciate your guys' support. We will see you guys later. And until next time, go raise some hail.